The Plants That Heal, a story of faith and health. Dona Maria woke up with a pain in her back that seemed to never end. I had already taken medicine, applied a hot compress, even prayed, but nothing helped. Sitting on the porch of her house, looking at the overgrown yard, she sighed deeply. "Oh, my God, what do I do now?" he murmured, rubbing his hands on his legs. That's when his grandson, Lucas, a smart 12-year-old boy, came running with an old book under his arm. "Grandma, I thought it was something cool," he said, panting. The schoolteacher talked about plants from the Bible that heal. "There's even one that can help your back." Dona Maria raised an eyebrow. "Plants from the Bible? Does this really exist?" "Of course." Lucas opened the book and pointed to a page. "Look here, mastic, hyssop, garlic, pomegranate. There are 20 plants that appear in the Bible and that people use to heal themselves." Dona Maria laughed, suspicious. "And you think I'll cure myself with grass, Lucas? It's not a bush, Grandma. It's a natural remedy. We can try." She looked at the yard, thoughtfully. If it didn't work out, at least he would have spent time with his grandson. What if it did? "Okay, but only if you help me find these plants." Lucas jumped with joy. "Let's go. The first is aloe vera, that aloe you have in your vase." "Oh, I know that one." Dona Maria stood up slowly. "My mother used it for sunburn." "That. It is also good for dry skin and even headaches. The Bible talks about it in the book of John." They went to the aloe vase. Lucas cut a sheet and showed the transparent gel. "Grandma, put this on your dry hand." Dona Maria passed by and soon her skin felt softer. "Wow, it's really fresh. Now let's look for the next one." "Hyssop," said Lucas, leafing through the book. "Hyssop? Never heard of it." "It's a little plant that looks like a small bush, with purple flowers. In the Bible, they used it to cleanse the body and soul." They searched the yard until they found a hyssop plant near the wall. "Just look." Lucas plucked a twig and smelled it. "It says here that it is used for coughs and to clean wounds." Dona Maria took a twig and rubbed it in her hands. "It has a strong smell. Does it really work?" "We can make tea," Lucas suggested. While they prepared tea, Lucas continued reading. "Next is garlic. Everyone has it at home." "Oh, I know that one." Dona Maria laughed. "Your grandfather ate it raw for high blood pressure." "That. It also wards off colds and even mosquito bites." Lucas grimaced. "But does it really work?" "Yes, it works. Your grandmother didn't lie." They laughed and moved on to the next plant, the pomegranate. "That's easy," said Lucas. "It's on the market." "But what is it for?" asked Dona Maria. "For sore throats, for digestion, and even for good luck." Lucas blinked. "Then I'm going to eat more pomegranates." Dona Maria joked. As they walked around the yard, Lucas showed the plants and told their stories. "Look, Grandma, olive tree. The Bible talks about it all the time. Olive oil is good for everything, earache, injuries, even to anoint kings." "Wow, I never imagined that these plants had so much power," said Dona Maria, impressed. "And there's more. Cedar, to ward off insects, fig tree, for stomach pain, wheat, to make bread and strengthen the body." Dona Maria stopped and looked at her grandson. "Lucas, you're teaching me more than I taught you." He smiled, proudly. "We learned together, Grandma." At the end of the day, Dona Maria had already drunk hyssop tea, rubbed aloe vera on her skin and even eaten raw garlic, with a glass of water, because it burned. And the most incredible thing, the back pain had improved. "Lucas, I think these plants really work," he said, surprised. I spoke. He celebrated. "And there are still 16 to go." Dona Maria laughed and hugged her grandson. "So tomorrow we continue. Who knows, maybe I'll get better once and for all." And so, between laughter, discoveries, and a lot of faith, they learned that nature holds powerful medicines. And sometimes the cure is right there, in your backyard. End. Dona Maria woke up the next day to the smell of fresh coffee. Lucas was already in the kitchen, stirring a pan. "Grandma, today is mint day," he announced, holding up a handful of green leaves. "Good for headaches and digestion." She rubbed her eyes, still drowsy. "I can already smell it. But hey, don't exaggerate, huh? Last time, the garlic almost made me fly." Lucas laughed. "Relax, Grandma. Today is smooth. First, tea. Then we'll see the rest. While the water was boiling, Donna Maria sat at the table and sighed. You know, Lucas, I always knew that plants heal. My mother used rue for everything, even the evil eye. But I never paid much attention. Now you're good, he said, placing a steaming cup in front of her. She took a sip and grimaced. It's strong. It's time to wake up. Lucas blinked. Donna Maria laughed and shook her head. You're crazy, boy. But it's right. Today I want to try this mint. And then we'll go to the garden. There's rosemary, chamomile, and even a little plant that looks like weeds, but is great for coughs. I know that one. Donna Maria got excited. It's pennyroyal, right? Your great-aunt wore it when I was a kid. That's right. Lucas was impressed. Did you already know? I knew, but I forgot. Life went on. Pharmacy medicines appeared, and I left them aside. Lucas took her hand. But now we are remembering. And it's good, right? Donna Maria shook her grandson's hand. It's great. In the garden, the sun fell softly between the leaves. Donna Maria carefully bent down and plucked a sprig of rosemary. This one is for memory, right? That. And also to add flavor to the food, Lucas added, smelling the leaves. She laughed. So I'm going to make rosemary chicken today. And then we drink chamomile tea to sleep. Perfect. Lucas smiled. And tomorrow we'll see the others. Donna Maria looked around at the plants that now seemed more alive, more full of purpose. Who knew? Huh? People finding treasure in the backyard. Green treasure, Lucas joked. They laughed, and Donna Maria felt something different. It wasn't just the pain in her back that had improved. It was as if a forgotten part of her was returning. And that, yes, was medicine. Donna Maria kept the rosemary in her apron and pointed to a flower bed near the wall. Look there, Lucas. That little plant with purple leaves. It's the rue. Lucas frowned. Rue? I thought it was just to ward off the evil eye. It is, she confirmed. But it also helps with headaches. Just rub a leaf on your forehead. Serious? He picked up a leaf and smelled it. Wow, what a strong smell. Yes, you can't exaggerate. But a little leaf will do the trick. Lucas put the rue in his pocket. I'll take it to school. João is always complaining about a headache after class. Donna Maria laughed. Good idea. But tell him not to eat, huh? Of course. Lucas grimaced. Who would want to eat that? The two continued through the garden. Donna Maria stopped in front of a clump of broad, green leaves. This one is the aloe. Great for burns. Aloe vera? Like the one we put on our hair. Exactly. But it also works for the skin. If it burns on the stove, apply the gel from the leaf which immediately relieves it. Lucas cut a sheet and pressed it. A clear liquid flowed out. It looks like jelly. That's right. Donna Maria took the sheet and rubbed a little on her arm. It's sore. It stays cool. Cool. Lucas kept a piece in his pocket too. I'll take it to my mother. She keeps burning herself when she cooks. Donna Maria smiled. Your mother will like it. They continued walking. The sun was already lower, painting the sky orange. Tomorrow we'll see the boldo, right? Lucas asked. That. And mint too. This one is good for stomach pain. My sister lives with stomach pain. I'll take it to her. Donna Maria stopped and looked at her grandson. You're taking everything for everyone, huh? Lucas shrugged. It's just that everyone needs medicine sometimes. She ruffled his hair. And you're becoming an expert at this. Lucas laughed. I'm just learning from the best. Donna Maria felt a heat in her chest. It wasn't just the afternoon sun. It was something more, as if the garden was giving more than medicine. It was giving time, laughter, stories. Let's go in, she said. It's getting cold. Lucas agreed, but before leaving, he looked back. Shall we see the rest tomorrow? Of course. There's still a lot. And the two entered, leaving the garden quiet, full of secrets waiting to be discovered. The two returned to the house, their feet covered in dirt. Donna Maria lit the wood stove and put water on to boil. Let's have some tea before bed, she said, taking a dried mint leaf. Lucas sat in the rocking chair, his eyes heavy. The smell of mint filled the kitchen. What's this one good for too? He asked, yawning. A little bit of everything. It calms the stomach, helps you sleep, even clears your head. Lucas smiled. So it's magical grandma's tea. Dona Maria laughed and threw a pinch of sugar into his cup. Not magic, boy. Just nature. The two remained silent, listening to the sound of the kettle. Outside, the wind moved the leaves of the garden, as if whispering secrets. Grandma, do you think plants know they help us? Lucas asked, suddenly. Dona Maria thought a little. I don't know if they know, but I think they feel it. When we take care of them, they grow stronger. When we need it, they give what they can. Lucas nodded, as if he understood. It's like us and our friends. Yeah, she agreed. Exactly like that. The tea was ready. Dona Maria served them both and sat next to her grandson. The lamplight danced on the wooden walls. Tomorrow we'll see the rosemary, she said. Good for memory. Memory. Lucas frowned. Why do I want memory? So I don't forget any of this here, she replied, pointing to the two of them, to the kitchen, to the garden outside. Lucas smiled. I won't forget that even if I want to. Dona Maria took a sip of tea and looked out the window. The garden was dark, but she knew that each plant was there, quiet, waiting for the sun to return. Neither do I, she murmured. And the two stayed there, drinking tea, until sleep came. The sun rose slowly, painting the sky pink and orange. Lucas woke up to the smell of warm bread and fresh coffee. Dona Maria was already in the kitchen, stirring a pot on the wood stove. Good morning, sleepyhead, she said, without looking. Rosemary is waiting. Lucas rubbed his eyes and sat down on the wooden chair. He took a piece of bread and bit into it. It was crispy on the outside, soft on the inside. How does rosemary help memory? He asked, chewing. Dona Maria took a sprig of the plant, which was in a glass of water on the table. The little green twigs had thin leaves and a strong smell. Smell, she said, holding out the sprig to him. Lucas sniffed. The aroma was fresh, kind of citrusy, like clearing your head. Now close your eyes and try to remember yesterday. The tea, the lamp, the stories. Lucas closed his eyes. The images came clear, the fire crackling, grandmother's voice telling about the plants, the sweet taste of honey in the tea. He even remembered the sound of the crickets outside. It saw. Dona Maria smiled. Rosemary wakes up the mind. The ancients used it before tests, important speeches. Like a superpower. Lucas widened his eyes. More or less, she laughed. But it's not magic. It's the plant working. If you use it right, it helps you keep important things. Lucas took the sprig and smelled it again. And how do we use it? You can make tea, like mint. Or put it in food. Even apply it to your hair to add shine. In the hair? Lucas grimaced. Yeah. And it also keeps lice away. Dona Maria winked. Lucas laughed and ran his hand through his unruly strands. I'd better have tea then. Dona Maria took a kettle and filled it with water. While waiting for it to boil, she took scissors and cut some more rosemary branches. You know, Lucas, memory isn't just for keeping things from the past. It's to learn from them, so as not to repeat the mistakes. Like when I burn my tongue with hot soup. Exactly, she laughed. Or when you forget to water the plants and they wilt. Lucas looked out the window at the garden. Some leaves were still fallen, but most had already risen with the sun. I think I've already learned that lesson. Dona Maria put the rosemary in hot water and covered the kettle with a cloth. Excellent. Because tomorrow we are going to talk about rue. Rue? Lucas wrinkled his nose. I've already heard of that. They say it wards off the evil eye. And really move away. Dona Maria lowered her voice, as if she were going to tell a secret. But you have to be careful. She is strong. It's not for playing. Lucas leaned forward, curious. Strong how? Strong as, she thought, like a medicine that turns into poison if used wrong. Lucas swallowed. And what does she do? Dona Maria served tea in 2 cups. The smell of rosemary spread throughout the kitchen. We'll see tomorrow. Today it's just rosemary. Drink slowly. Lucas picked up the cup and blew off the steam. The tea was hot, but the smell already made his head feel lighter. Grandma, he said, after a sip. If I forget something, will you remind me? Dona Maria held the cup with both hands and looked at him. Always. But I don't think you'll need it. Lucas smiled. Outside, The sun had already risen higher, illuminating every leaf in the garden. And he knew that, even if one day he forgot everything, that smell of rosemary would always bring back the memories. Lucas was quiet for a while, looking out the window. The wind swayed the rosemary leaves, as if they were whispering ancient secrets. "Grandma, what about that plant outside?" he asked, pointing to a rue tree growing near the wall. "Does it also heal?" Dona Maria followed his finger and smiled. "It heals, but it's not to be played with. Aruda is strong. It wards off the evil eye, but in the wrong dose it turns into poison. Like medicine that turns into poison?" "That's right." She took a sip of tea. "Everything in life is like that. Even what heals can hurt if we don't respect it." Lucas frowned. "So how do I know the difference?" "With time." Dona Maria placed the cup on the table. "And paying attention. Plants talk, but we forget to listen." He looked at the garden again. Now each leaf looked different. Rosemary, rue, even the small herbs that he didn't even know the name of. "What if I make a mistake?" Dona Maria held his hand. "Then we correct it. Making mistakes is part of it. The important thing is not to give up." Lucas squeezed her fingers back. The sun hit their faces, warm and golden. "Shall we start with the rue tomorrow?" "Tomorrow. Today it's just rosemary." She blinked. "And patience." Outside, a butterfly landed on a basil leaf. Lucas smiled. Maybe learning wasn't that difficult after all. Lucas stood up slowly, still looking at the garden. The butterfly spread its wings, as light blue as the morning sky. He took a deep breath. "What is rosemary for?" Dona Maria pointed to the plant near the wall. "For memory. And to give courage." She laughed. "But it's not just about putting it in food and that's it. You have to ask permission first." "Ask for permission?" "Yeah. Plants like respect." She picked up a twig and smelled it. "If you start without thanking them, they won't give their best." Lucas scratched his head. "Like, talk to them? Or think? It doesn't have to be tall." Dona Maria extended the branch to him. "Smell." He held it carefully. The smell was strong, fresh, like clearing your head. He closed his eyes for a second. "It's okay. I am going to try. It starts like this." She patted him on the shoulder. "Now go there, get some tea. But not too much, otherwise it will be bitter." Lucas crouched down near the rosemary. The leaves were thin, almost like needles. He hesitated. "Can I?" Nothing happened. But the wind moved the leaves, as if responding. "Okay," he murmured. He plucked 3 sprigs, slowly. Dona Maria smiled. "It's sore." "It didn't hurt." He laughed. "Yet. Tomorrow we'll see the rue." She stood up, wiping her hands on her apron. "Today it's just rosemary. And some tea. What if I forget what I learned?" "You forget. Then remember again." She entered the house. "Is that so?" Lucas stood there, holding the sprigs. The butterfly flew to the basil again. He looked up at the sky. "Thanks, rosemary." And for the first time, he felt that perhaps he understood what Dona Maria meant. Lucas smelled the sprigs. The strong scent filled his nose, hot and fresh at the same time. He remembered his mother's perfume when she ironed clothes, years ago. He closed his eyes. Did she know these things? Dona Maria appeared at the door, a steaming glass in her hand. "Here. Weak tea, so as not to burn your tongue." He held the glass carefully. Steam rose, tickling his face. "Thanks. Don't thank me yet." Proof. Lucas blew, took a sip. The taste was mild, somewhat earthy, with a hint of lemon. "It's not bad." "Of course." She crossed her arms. "Rosemary is for memory, you know? It helps you remember things. Like forgetting less. Like that." She pointed to his head. "But there's no point in just taking it. You have to pay attention." Lucas looked at the sprigs in his hand. "And the rue?" "Tomorrow." Dona Maria motioned for him to come in. "Now come. The tea gets cold." He followed, but stopped at the door. "What if I want to learn faster?" She laughed, shaking her head. "Speed is not haste, boy. Plants don't like rushing." But nothing." She pushed him inside. "Today is rosemary. Tomorrow is rue. Afterwards, who knows?" Lucas sat at the wooden table, where a plate of homemade cookies waited. Dona Maria filled another glass. Eat. Food also heals. He took a cookie and bit into it. It was crunchy, slightly sweet. Have you always known these things? Since I was little. My grandmother taught me. She sat in the rocking chair. And now I teach you. Why? Because someone has to pass on it. She took a sip of tea. Otherwise, knowledge disappears. Lucas looked at the glass. What if I don't learn properly? You will make a mistake. Everyone makes mistakes. She pointed to the backyard. Even plants make mistakes. Sometimes they are born crooked, weak. But they are still alive. He was quiet, thinking. Is it like a butterfly? Like this? She flies here and there, but always returns to the basil. Dona Maria smiled. Exactly. Things have their way of coming back. Lucas finished his tea. Heat spread through his chest. Tomorrow I'll bring a notebook. For what? To write it down. That way I don't forget. She laughed. You can bring it. But there's no point in just writing. You have to feel it. To feel. Yeah. She touched his chest. Here. Lucas looked at his own hand, still holding the empty glass. I am going to try. That's all I ask. Dona Maria stood up. Now go home. Your mother must be waiting for you. He nodded but didn't move. What if I want to come back early tomorrow? The door is always open. She ruffled his hair. But not before the sun rises. Plants don't like visitors in the dark. Lucas laughed. It's okay. He went out the door, but stopped in the yard. The butterfly was still there, dancing among the leaves. He took a deep breath. See you tomorrow, Rosemary. And for the first time, he wasn't afraid to forget.